Off the hand of Olynyk and a quick outlet pass. Beautiful catch. Watch out, Royce. Whoa. Here's Joe, the no-looker inside.
Nice job of Gobert. He's got great touch, 4 and 5 feet out.
Donovan finds space and rides it inside for his first bucket.
On Mitchell's drive.
There's Bogey. Quickly back in transition, Orlando. Feel a 10-3 run over the last 2.5. How about that? Broken ankle. Wow. Caught the rim, put it down. I mean, he just flew by Carter Williams.
Let's rewind another fantastic week of Jazz basketball. 2 home games before departing for that 4-game East Coast trip. 2 blowout wins over the Hornets and Lakers.
At 15-2, it's really no surprise the Jazz have the best home record in the NBA so far this season.
Yeah, and a lot of Jazz critics pointed to this game against the Lakers, saying they needed to beat them to prove whether or not they were a contender. All right, A, one regular season game doesn't tell us much. B, there's no Anthony Davis, so I'm not going to get carried away with a 25-point win over the Lakers. But for one regular season game against a team with LeBron James on it, you had to be impressed. And the Jazz won this game without Donovan having a monster game, just 13 points. But he did have a monster dunk and was just 2 assists shy of his first career triple-double. The Jazz followed up their team record, 28 three-pointers against the Hornets with 22 against LA, a 114-89 win.
Yeah, they came back with the same roster, but I think what I noticed more than anything is those guys they're fully healthy. I think Mike Conley is back to himself, fully healthy, moving. You can see the way he's moving out there on the floor. And it's trickled down to everybody else, So, they're playing some really good ball. It's a really good team.
High praise from the King. It was a great win against the Lakers, but the Jazz are not crowning themselves champions already. The Lakers team they faced on Wednesday was without 2 key players, Dennis Schroeder and Anthony Davis, as mentioned. The Jazz, they're not fools. They know this will be a better team next time around. But the Jazz want to be an even better team as well when they face them again.
The best thing about this game was we continue to keep our foot on the gas, every step of the way. There wasn't a moment in the game where it was like, okay, like we kind of played like we were up. And I think that was something that was impressive.
Gordon Hayward back in Salt Lake City Monday. The Jazz sweep the Hornets with a 132-110 win. In the process, they set a single-game franchise record for made threes with 28. 19 of those threes came off the bench. According to stats, that is the most by a team's bench in NBA history. Most of those threes came during a 26-2 run. That's right, 26-2. It was hard to believe the Jazz trailed by 11 in the third quarter of this game.
But I think that's an incredible accomplishment. 19 threes is a lot of points. I wasn't a math major, but that's a lot of points.
Jordan Hings 7 for 7 in that game, by the way. So with 28 threes against the Hornets, 22 against the Lakers, the Utah Jazz become the first team in NBA history to make a total of 53-pointers in a 2-game span. The Utah Jazz schedule in February was so tough, it got coined Deathuary.
Turned out to be, though, that Deathuary was for the Jazz opponents. Here's how it all went down in the final week.
Gordon Hayward and the Hornets were the first team to experience Utah's deadly lineup. The Jazz set a franchise record for threes with 28 and blasted the Hornets by 22 points.
The Lakers were supposed to provide the toughest test of the year for the Jazz, but with no Anthony Davis, the Lakers were DOA, another 22 three-pointers, and the Jazz send LeBron back to Hollywood with a 25-point loss.
The red-hot Miami Heat were able to avoid the Jazz Reaper on Friday. They needed a season-high 33 points from Jimmy Butler to avoid the same fate as other Jazz opponents in February.
They call him Jimmy Buckets.
Orlando wasn't so lucky. No amount of magic could save them from extinction at the hands of the Jazz. Another 30-point game from Donovan Mitchell and Jordan Clarkson put the magic in a blender. It's not an illusion.
The Jazz finished Deathuary with a 12-2 record. A deadly month for their opponents. The Jazz, not so much.
Off the hand of Olynyk and a quick outlet pass. Beautiful catch. Watch out, Royce. Whoa. Here's Joe, the no-looker inside.
Nice job of Gobert. He's got great touch, 4 and 5 feet out.
Donovan finds space and rides it inside for his first bucket.
On Mitchell's drive.
There's Bogey. Quickly back in transition, Orlando. Feel a 10-3 run over the last 2.5. How about that? Broken ankle. Wow. Caught the rim, put it down. I mean, he just flew by by Carter Williams.
Rewind rolls on. The Utah Jazz wrapping up the first half of the regular season on the road. 2 games left, Monday in New Orleans against Zion and the Pelicans, and then a rematch with the best team in the East, the Philadelphia 76ers, on Wednesday.
This 4-game road trip began with a pair in Florida, highlighted by Saturday's win in Orlando. You know what? Just give him the 6th man of the year already, right? Jordan Clarkson's offensive abilities off the bench, no bounds. He had 18 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 ankles broken against the Magic. Michael Carter-Williams couldn't keep up with the stop-and-go action from Clarkson on this play. He was left on the floor while Clarkson just flipped it up and in. No doubt the play of the game in this Jazz win.
And how good was Donovan Mitchell in the second half against the Magic? First half, just 6 points. He scored 25 points in the 18 minutes on the court in the second half, 15 in the third quarter alone, 4 of 6 from 3, 9 of 13 from the field. He wasn't just scoring either, 4 assists in the second half too, Shaq.
I've seen pretty much every coverage, so now it's about adjusting, not just for myself to score, but getting guys involved, finding ways to make the simple play. And
he's done a hell of a job at reading the coverage at the start of the game, or if they change it at halftime or whatever, and adjusting and obviously making plays for his teammates. So, yeah, he's a superstar.
Good stuff. Mike Conley sat out the game for the Jazz for what the Jazz are calling hamstring injury management. So Joe Ingles, he got his 9th start of the season. These are the opportunities Joe has taken full advantage of. He's showing how good he can run this offense, scoring the ball and creating those opportunities for his teammates. He had a game-high 7 assists with his 17 points.
Joe's really good at finding him, I would say much better than I am, as far as getting the pick and roll. So kind of getting Rudy easy ones, getting Joe easy ones.
I honestly don't go into the game thinking any different. I just know obviously that with Mike being out and how big a part of the team he is for us, I'm going to have the ball a bit more and be a little bit more aggressive at times.
So we saved the loss for last. The Jazz slipped up in South Beach, dropping a game to the Miami Heat, 124-116. Donovan had 30 points. But the Jazz had no answer for Jimmy Butler. He scored a season-high 33 points, pulled down 10 rebounds, had 8 assists. It wasn't a bad loss. The Heat had the longest winning streak in the league at 5 games.
Whether it was us not running to the corner or just sacrificing for each other, getting to space, we weren't able to create lanes for guys to drive and make those extra plays and extra passes, and kind of got us off, out of our rhythm.